It's 2025. But what if I told you that in countries once ruled by colonial powers, some laws written in the 1800s by foreign governors are still active today? From outdated sedition acts to bizarre bans, this is the story of the laws that colonialism left behind and why they still matter. Welcome to Scroll News, where we uncover the hidden layers of global history, politics, and law. Today, we dive into laws passed under colonial rule that are shockingly still enforced. Let's begin. During the height of European imperialism, the 17th to 20th centuries, colonial administrators imposed legal systems on territories across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. These laws were created to control, extract, and silence dissent. And when colonial rulers left, many of those laws weren't repealed. Why? Because newly independent nations faced instability, and these old laws, though undemocratic, were convenient tools to maintain order. One of the most common colonial laws still in place today: sedition laws. These laws criminalize any speech or publication that brings hatred against the government. In India, for example, Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code, drafted in 1870 by the British, is still used to arrest protesters and journalists. That's a law older than the telephone. In Nigeria, the Official Secrets Act of 1962, modeled after British law, still restricts the media's ability to report on government activities. And in Malaysia, the Sedition Act of 1948 is actively enforced. Colonial law wasn't just about control, it also shaped personal freedoms. In many former colonies, anti-LGBTQ+ laws still reflect Victorian-era morality. In Uganda, Section 145 of the Penal Code, a British colonial holdover, criminalizes same-sex relationships, punishable by imprisonment. This law was introduced by the British in the early 20th century and never repealed. Similarly, in Barbados, laws banning boogery and serious indecency, also written under British rule, remained until 2022. Even in the Caribbean and parts of Asia, dress codes, curfews, and behavior codes still echo colonial attitudes. In former British colonies, legal systems are still conducted in English, even when it's not the most widely spoken language. In Ghana, India, and Kenya, legal documents, court proceedings, and parliamentary debates use colonial language and terminology. Customary laws were often rewritten to fit Western models, undermining local traditions. For example, British administrators codified tribal land practices in ways that favored centralized, male-dominated authority structures, and those codes still define land disputes today. So why haven't these laws been repealed? Some argue they are outdated and undemocratic. Others say they are still useful for modern governance. Leaders in India, Kenya, and South Africa have pushed for legal reform, but progress is slow. Rewriting law takes political will, public support, and often constitutional change. In some cases, leaders use these old laws intentionally because they offer broad power with little accountability. International organizations like the UN and Amnesty International have repeatedly called for the abolition of these relics of colonialism. But here's the twist. Even former colonial powers, like the UK, still have old imperial laws on their books. For example, the UK's Treason Act of 1351 is technically still active. And in some British overseas territories, laws written by colonial governors continue to define governance today, even in 2025. Colonial laws were designed for a world that no longer exists. Yet their presence continues to shape modern justice, rights, and freedoms across continents. Repealing them is not just legal housekeeping. It's an act of historical justice. The question isn't just why are these laws still here? It's also, what does their survival say about the systems we've built since independence? If you found this eye-opening, subscribe to Scroll News. We uncover the stories, laws, and headlines that shape our world, one scroll at a time. Leave a comment. Should these colonial laws finally be erased? Thanks for watching.